Okay, what if you could make every single word you say actually count? Today, we're going to dive into Saitō Takashi's incredible method for powerful, clear communication that really grabs attention and, more importantly, gets results. And the best part? It's all about mastering that first minute.
So let me just ask you something. In today's world, think about a meeting, an email, even just a casual conversation. How much time do you really have before you lose someone? You know, before their mind starts to drift, they start thinking about lunch, or they discreetly check their phone under the table?
1 minute, that's it. 60 seconds. According to Saitō Takashi, we live in a world that is just flooded with information. And because of that, we're all trained to discard things fast. If you don't make your point compelling within that first minute, you've lost. They've mentally moved on. It sounds harsh, I know, but getting this is the absolute first step to becoming a master communicator.
So what's the real problem here? Well, Saitō calls it a lack of density. We dilute our own messages. We fill that crucial first minute with all these weak openings, right? Like, well, I'm not really sure if this is a good idea, or we just get completely lost on some tangent. We act like time is this infinite resource, when in reality, it's the most precious thing we share with another person.
Just let that sink in for a second. Wasting someone's time isn't just rude or inefficient. Saitō literally calls it a form of theft. And when you start to think of it that way, the need to get to the point becomes crystal clear, right? I mean, think about it. Every single wasted minute in a meeting gets multiplied by every single person sitting in that room. That's a lot of stolen time. Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we start packing our communication with real meaning and actually respect our listeners' time? Well, Saitō gives us this really simple but incredibly powerful mental model to get our thoughts in order. Let's break it down.
It's called the river model. I want you to picture this. You're standing on one side of a big, wide river, and the person you're talking to is on the other side. That river, that's the knowledge gap between you two. Now, your job isn't to just shout information across the water and hope some of it makes it. No, your job is to build a little bridge for them, placing a few simple stepping stones so they can walk across easily and join you on your side.
And the process is so simple you can do it for anything. First, you have to know your bank. What's the core ideal you're starting with? Second, know the far bank. What is the one single thing you need them to understand by the end? And third, and this is the most important part, you build the path with just 3 key points. 3 clear, solid stepping stones. That's it.
So why only 3? Because 3 is manageable. It's clean. It gives your message a super clear structure. You know, a beginning, a middle, and an end. The moment you start throwing in a 4th, a 5th, a 6th point, well, your listener starts to lose their footing. You're basically asking them to drown in a flood of information. This model makes sure they get to the other side. Your conclusion, safe and sound.
All right, so we have this great framework. Now let's really put it to the test. Let's apply this whole stepping stone way of thinking to a really high-stakes situation where every single second is critical. Pitching an idea to a super busy leader. Look, when you've got 60 seconds with the decision maker, they do not have time for a long, winding story. They just don't. Their internal monologue is going a mile a minute asking, okay, what's the point? Why should I care about this? What do you need from me? Your pitch has to answer those questions, and it has to do it now.
So here it is. Here's the recipe for that perfect 1-minute pitch. You need one powerful opening sentence that states what you want. You need a great hook to grab their attention. You need the single biggest advantage of your idea. And then you need to tell them the single biggest disadvantage or risk. Yeah, you heard me right. I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, this is where the real magic happens.
Let's be real. Decision makers are smart. They know there's no such thing as a perfect plan. They know every single project has risks. What actually keeps them up at night, what terrifies them, is the unknown risk. The one that comes out of nowhere and blows everything up after they've already put their reputation and company resources on the line. So, when you're the one to state the biggest risk right up front, you're not showing weakness at all. You're showing incredible foresight. You're showing honesty, and you're showing confidence. You're basically telling them, hey, I've looked at this from every single angle. I know where the pitfalls are, and I'm ready for them. And that, right there, builds a massive amount of trust, instantly.
Now, this whole idea of dense, high-impact communication, it isn't just for boardroom pitches or formal presentations. It can also be one of the most powerful tools we have for building real connections with people. So let's talk about the art of praise.
Saitō talks about these two different cultures. You've got the old school criticism culture, right? The one that's always looking for faults, always deducting points for every little mistake. But then you have a praise culture, which is all about finding what's right. It focuses on potential and on building people's confidence. One of them tears people down, the other inspires them to actually grow.
So here's a simple, really powerful challenge for you. For just 1 week, I want you to set aside 3 minutes a day. That's it. And in those 3 minutes, intentionally praise 3 different people, giving each of them your full, undivided attention for 1 minute. The whole point is to turn praise into a conscious habit, not just something that happens by accident once in a while.
And here's how you make that praise really count. Don't just say, good job. Try reframing a perceived weakness into a strength. Like, instead of someone being slow, maybe they're thorough. Praise the process, the effort they put in, not just the final score. And oh man, this last one is pure gold. Use reported praise. Telling someone, hey, Sarah was just telling me what an amazing job you did on that project. That is incredibly powerful.
So the big takeaway here is that genuine praise isn't just about making someone feel good for a second. It's a strategic tool. It's about unlocking their future potential. It's about looking at someone and telling them, through your words, I see what you are capable of, and I believe you can get there. And that brings us to what might be the 3 most powerful words in the entire book. This phrase, it's so much more than just a bit of encouragement. It's a transfer of belief. Whether you're building that bridge of understanding with the river model, pitching a huge idea, or inspiring a colleague, the foundation of it all is this simple belief. Because if you really believe in your message and in them, you can make any minute count. You can do it.